talked a little bit about different movements that we could do with our bodies, and we talked about non-locomotor movement and locomotor movement. And we know that locomotor movement can get us to one place or another, but if I need to get someplace really far, for instance, my mother lives in New Jersey and I live in Maryland, how would I get to my mother's house? I don't want to walk to my mother's house, and it's pretty far to skip or hop to her house as well. So what are some other ways that I could get to my mother's house? So here's where I would ask the children to suggest some different ways that I could probably get to my mother's house. And I would introduce transportation. So transportation, there are different types of transportation. There are cars, there are trucks, and there are trains. Those are different ways that I can get to my mother's house. And today we're specifically going to talk about trains. Steam engines use force to move. So inside of a steam engine, coal is heated, and the steam that rises pushes on pistons, which then push on rods and wheels to make the train go. So here's where I would use a couple of students to represent each of those things. So I would have a student to represent steam, a student to represent the pistons, a student to represent the rods, and a student to represent the wheels to show the domino effect of how the force is used to make the train go. So the force of the steam would tap the pistons, and then that next child could tap the rods, which tap the wheels, which start the train to move. And the leader, who is the wheel person, would actually be in charge of driving the train around the classroom. So while that child is leading the train around the classroom, the rest of the group can be brought in by singing a simple chant as the train moves around. And the chant is a call and response. So as the teacher, I would just say chug, 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 puff, 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 ding, dong, ding, dong, ding, dong. And they would repeat that with me. So chug, 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 puff, 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 ding, dong, ding, dong, ding, dong, ding, dong. And they would keep saying that until the students made their way back to the circle. So after we've set up the train, now we can add more students shoulder to shoulder to add on to the train. So I'll have some students be the train. Other students can arch their arms together to be the tunnels. And then there'll be some railroad crossing stops along the way too. So they know whenever they get to a railroad crossing, they have to stop until those two students standing across from each other raise their arms up. So that's pretty much it about how force makes trains move.